sometimes when we're in our winter season, summer season, we can go deeper in God, deeper in the Word. We begin to study the Word.
Ultimately, that's what He wants.
We begin to study the Word, so we begin to connect more with Him and what the plan He does have for our life.
He's still got the keys to the kingdom because Jesus knew that passion was going to proclaim Him.
Yes.
But right now, He was like teaching Peter, I don't need you to defend me. I'm God.
Yeah, I'm God.
I'm God.
Yeah.
I don't need you to defend me. For you to defend me puts you above me. Nobody's ever above me.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Asbel.
And we want to welcome you to another episode on A Cup of Real. And today we're going to talk about seasons. We're
in the winter season right now.
Yeah, we're probably going to highlight the winter season more because all of us go through different seasons. We're all in different seasons of our lives. We're on different journeys. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like to compare it to the seasons of life. Spring. I think spring's your favorite season?
Spring and fall are my favorite seasons.
Yeah, fall's mine. I love fall. I like spring too.
I prefer spring because it feels new and everything's blooming, and I know the pollen gets in the way, but it's like been winter, everything has died, and now there's life springing. That's what I love about it.
It's kind of after the first of the year, you want to declutter, you want to do something fresh, you want to get back on to that dream of yours. You know, it's true. But
everybody's out there, they're in the garden, you start smelling the grass, people start cutting the grass.
And it's still kind of
windows start clean, it's
not too hot yet.
Yeah, I love it.
But then you move into the summer, and the summer, depending on where you live, can be phenomenal and beautiful. And then it can be, sometimes you can get triple-digit weather for a week.
Well, here in Texas, it gets miserable.
Yeah, it can get miserable.
So starting June, July, and August, that's why I don't like if I'm somewhere where the climates are wonderful, like San Diego, the West Coast, like even up in summer, it gets so cool up in the Bay Area. It's beautiful.
It's true. Like we've been out in the Bay Area before, and it's been 46 degrees. And we're like, what?
But we're talking about it from the perspective of living in the South.
Yeah, living in the South. But Texas has good winters. It's not too extreme, although we have had some extreme weather. But then now let's talk about fall, because fall is my favorite season. That's when you can start wearing sweaters, scarves, boots, candles, pumpkin candles, sitting outside with coffee. The leaves start turning color. And then when they start falling to the ground, it's letting us know that winter is coming. So it's kind of like the precursor, I guess you could say, to winter. And that's kind of like how our lives are. Sometimes we have signs that it's something good's coming or something's bad. There's something going on in our life, like maybe a cancer diagnosis. So you happen to go through that winter season with it. Or I was thinking about, though, before we get into that, comparing it to, we were just in D.C. a week ago.
Oh, dear Lord. Yeah.
And they had a heavy rainfall,
Snowfall.
Snowfall. And I've lived there, and I remember those days, but I don't remember how it stayed below freezing. It was,
for as long as it did, like the snow was like concrete.
Yeah, it was
really
like
wasn't
18 degrees, 12 degrees, 8 degrees. And it was huge slabs of concrete, but it was ice. And what normally takes us 15 minutes to get somewhere took us 50 minutes.
It was like 45 minutes, I think an hour, like to go from where we were staying to a restaurant in Georgetown. It was amazing. Like we missed another event.
And to the hotel. The Hilton Hotel from our hotel. It was, it never takes that long. And then remember when we were halfway through and you had people just honking.
Yeah. And everybody was irritated. Like, you're not going anywhere.
No one can go anywhere. But that's how it is with life. Sometimes you get in bumper to bumper traffic. I was thinking about this analogy, and we want out. Whatever you are dealing with in your life, you want out of it. We've been there.
But you have to go through the process.
You have to go through the process.
And if you will just pause, we had to just say, you know what? We're going to have to rethink the plan.
Right.
And in order to make the other, we're just going to have to miss this one and make it to the other for a dinner we were hosting.
Right.
And so, but we could have said and made the mindset, no, I want to go do this. Then we would have been late to the other. Then we would have been irritated, the guest that we were hosting. But we made the decision, which is what life is like. Sometimes you're in bumper to bumper traffic.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are at a standstill. Sometimes, and so you have to be thinking, you've got to be flexible and saying, maybe where God was taking me was to the second one. He didn't want me to go to that middle one. I don't know. We're trivializing it, but I'm just saying generally, as we're talking about different seasons and different things that happen.
And even going down side roads, there were issues. So you really couldn't go anywhere fast. And that's how it is with life. And I was thinking about bringing out some...
Then we try to take shortcuts, and the shortcut isn't the
shortcut.
What I'm
saying. That's what I'm saying. So I was trying to think of some different situations that people go through. I mentioned cancer. I have friends that are in the middle of cancer treatment, that are battling, that are fighting it with their faith and treatment and all of that. And then others are dealing with a job loss or an estranged relationship or a divorce, or even I was thinking about a betrayal. Someone that was a best friend, someone that you really loved, and you found out that they were talking about you behind your back, and they literally were not who you thought they were. And so you're in a season of, how can I trust people? There's so many. You want to give some analogies too? I mean,
I think different... it's this, I think it's anything in life where you feel like
you can't get out.
I can't get out. Like I feel what happened. That's what we're talking about. That is generally the winter season. And you sometimes have to say, what am I learning through that process? I know as I go through those winter seasons, I'm constantly reflecting. That's I come up with little sayings that help me, and I write them down and pay attention to them every single time. And now I've got one that says reflection, not deflection.
Oh, that's good.
Because reflection tells me every time I'm going through something, if I deflect, I never learn the reason why I'm going through it. Yeah. And I remember some of our mentors told us that if you do not learn within the season you're in, you're going to always repeat it. So when I'm going through a winter season, which I don't enjoy the winter at all whatsoever. There's nothing about the winter I like. I don't like snow. I don't like cold. She does. This is where we're opposite. I don't like anything about it. If I want to see snow, I generally only want to see it like inside. On Christmas Day, so I can say it's a whatever or something like that. But I generally don't like the winter season. So I'm generally reflecting.
Yeah.
Okay, why am I going through this? What is this that we're going through as well? And so reflection, not deflection, is generally where I will move when things are happening. And if I tend to want to deflect, I get into that mode maybe for a day or two or three, and then I'm thinking, stop, boy. Reflect.
Yeah.
What is the process you're going through?
And then what are you trying to teach me through this? How can I deepen my walk with God? What, the lesson in it. And I was, there's two Bible stories, but one is about Peter, how in Luke 22, and I have it here to keep me on track, how Jesus said, Simon, Simon, indeed Satan has asked for you that he may sift you as wheat, but I pray for you that your faith will not fail. And when you have returned to me, you will strengthen the other brethren. But the response by Peter says this, and it kind of grabbed me, got my attention. He said, but Lord, I'm ready to go with you in prison and in death. I'm ready to do this, because he had just cut off the ear of the servant. He would have probably killed everyone. Or
he thought he was defending Jesus.
Yes, he thought he was defending Jesus.
And Jesus doesn't need defending, so then, you know. Peter didn't realize that yet. But
no, he wants us to proclaim him. But then Jesus responds to Peter, I tell you, Peter, basically, you're not ready, honey.
Not ready.
You will deny me 3 times. In the next few hours, you're going to deny me 3 times. Basically says that. So I wanted to go read.
Well, he was teaching Peter through that season that Peter was in, that because Peter thought, I'm going to defend, cuts the ear off.
And he had the passion.
And he had the passion for it, but his passion wasn't channeled. That's what we talk about.
Yeah.
When you're going through different things, it's like I can be passionate about something, then you're trying to understand, well, why is this happening to me? So that's why I'm saying you should reflect. Peter wasn't yet mature enough to be reflecting, and because Jesus knows our hearts.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
He loved Peter's passion, but he knew the heart of Peter, that Peter was not ready to proclaim.
Yeah.
He still got the keys to the kingdom because Jesus knew that passion was going to proclaim him.
Yes.
But right now he was like teaching Peter, I don't need you to defend me.
No.
I'm God.
Yeah, I'm God.
I'm God.
Yeah.
I don't need you to defend me. For you to defend me puts you above me.
Right.
Nobody's ever above me. Jesus, he's a jealous God.
Jesus
Remember that.
is
Never
the
forget
I
that.
am.
He is. So you should be proclaiming him, not defending me. And that's what he was teaching.
Exactly. People. So that's good. So the meaning of Satan has desired to sift you as wheat, I thought was really good. It says a intense, violent testing designed to shake your faith, expose weaknesses, and can even cause you to fail or abandon Christ, which Peter did. He denied him 3 times. And then it represents a metaphorical attack intended to destroy faith and break a person down. So Satan was going to sift him as wheat, and God was allowing it. But he said, I pray that your faith will not fail you.
Will not fail you.
Isn't that good,
so Jesus knew. Remember, that's actually a really powerful thing when you're going through a season. It's easy to get distracted when we're in the season of spring because it's wonderful. Things are growing. It's new. It's new life. It's all that. But when you get into the season of summer, sometimes it's hot. Nothing's really moving. Nothing's growing. Sometimes things are wilting. They're dying because the heat so much. You're trying to keep things watered.
We have seen our plants die in the
and then the fall, we're harvesting. So we love the harvest season. That's why a lot of people love the spring and the fall. It's growth. Then the harvest is generally the fall. But summer and winter is when we kind of get into this, like, sometimes it's so hot and then sometimes it's cold. It's desolate. It's dreary.
It's kind of extreme.
Right.
Weather.
And so we stop this, but this is where we learn the most in our lessons that God's trying to teach us.
Our attitudes.
If we keep our attitude in a point of reflection and not deflection. But sometimes our passions can stir within us where we can't learn what God's trying to teach us because of our passions. And that, to me, is what was going on here with Peter. And he knew, hey, he's going to sift you as wheat. God allowed it, but he warned Peter.
But I prayed that your faith.
But he warned Peter.
He warned Peter.
So if we get into the Word, when we're going through things, the Word tells you, I gave you a warning, and here's the plan of what you should do.
Yes.
Oftentimes we don't get into there and we don't read the Word, but everything in the Word will tell us what we should do when we're going through pain, sorrow, unbearable things that we can't even begin to understand.
And then sometimes we may never understand the why, but that's where we go to Isaiah 55. His ways are not our ways, his thoughts are not our thoughts. The other scripture that you and I have quoted, everyone quotes, it's a huge Christian anthem. Jeremiah 29:11. I have it here. It's a promise of deliverance, and I have thoughts giving you peace, a future. But if you go down and start reading it, it took 70 years for them to get through that. And so really, to me, it's
God's timeline's not our timeline.
No,
that's why he says, my ways are not your ways. You don't see what I see. You do not see what I see.
Well, it's kind of...
it's hard to trust. We talk about trusting God, putting our faith in God. It's easy to talk about when you're going through it,
it's probably one of the most challenging things that you go through. I remember we've gone through a few things, 6 years, like I didn't see any relief. And you're going through it, you want out of it. Well, the children of Israel, they had been in exile. They were in slavery. They wanted out of it. But it took 70 years. So it's almost like he was given a call to endure through it, to endure. Things are going to get better. It's not going to be on your watch, your time. But in the right time, when I feel you're ready, then I'm going to release you.
David's psalm is the one that there's me. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. He didn't say, yea, though I sleep. Yea, though I stand. He said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
That's right.
I will fear no evil.
Because there's going to be evil all around you.
You,
yes,
oh God, are with me.
Are with me.
That's what you should, when you don't understand, I start going back to this and I start
Psalm 23.
Yea, though I walk, Asbel, though you walk, God is with you. Start substituting because that's going to give you the strength to keep walking through that valley.
Do you know how many times I have read that?
I'm telling you.
Through the years. And the more I read it, the more I understand it. The more it hits me in a deeper way because I know what he's talking about.
Because we've been through it.
Yeah.
When you're with it, it's like those are the things that you hold to. Mm-hmm. I remember going through, and we talk about that with my daughter on other episodes. That was the valley of the shadow of death.
It was,
and I was in that valley
and it
forever.
Was a long
and I remember
haul.
praying scriptures. I started to get really specific on scriptures as I went through there. Started substituting scriptures with her name in them. Started praying them. I still have it in my phone. I shared it with someone else that texted me and said, "What do I do about this?" And I sent them that prayer. I've sent that prayer to so many people saying, when you are starting to feel like I can't make it, that anxiety's coming up, how do I deal with this? Start praying it. Because it is what was my saving grace. I began to pray the word.
Right.
I began to pray the word, substituting her name in there. So when I had doubts in my mind, anxieties in my mind, I would pray it. And sometimes I would pray it 20 times a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's how much that anxiety was in me.
But through that,
telling you,
God took you to a deeper place in Him.
Amazing.
Sometimes when we're in our winter season, summer season, we can go deeper in God, deeper in the Word. We begin to study the Word.
Ultimately, that's what He wants.
We begin to study the Word, so we begin to connect more with Him and what He has, the plan He does have for our life. But if we're in the spring all the time, everything's great. So we're not as prone to run to Him for everything.
We're not communicate. We're not communication. So remember, He desires relationship with us. And when He's got close relationship, oftentimes we only have relationship with Him when we're hurting, when we need something. Yeah. And He desires relationship all the time.
All year long.
So if you forget to continue that relationship, or you get complacent in the relationship when the seasons of growth come, and you're wonderful and you lose sight on Him. I've done that. Well, we've all done that. If we're serious, yes.
We begin to lean on our own ability, our own talents, our own
When things are going well and wonderful, you get a little lackadaisical. And
you have money, you have health, everything's blowing up for you in your company, your ministry. Everything's going great. Yeah. You can forget the one who put you there.
I still may be doing my devotion. I still may be doing whatever, but am I having that?
But it's more of a habit.
Yeah, is it like it?
It's more of a,
you got to start thinking about it's like relationship with you and I. Mm-hmm. If we're not intentional about our relationship or whatever, we get a little lackadaisical.
And we've been there.
Absolutely, we have.
And we'll probably be there again. We got to just keep pushing.
But you have to be intentional. But we're intentional. That's why we have Friday night date nights, because it's like that's our reminder for us to get together.
Yeah.
And when we miss it, you feel it.
Yeah, you do. You definitely feel it.
Because what happens is you kind of get into that mode. It's those type of things as well. You can see the seasons are affecting us as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to, all these
I think you gave it to me, or when we were in D.C. around all those crowds.
She's going to blame me. I think it was when we were at Washington Mardi Gras with all those people. That was germphobia.
But and it started for me Tuesday. I started feeling it. Yeah. Wednesday, I had really bad chills, and I was like, "Oh Lord, I'm coming."
I started feeling the scratchiness. I think Saturday, I'm like thinking, "Oh dear Lord," and I'd been
Friday,
traveling.
We were in DC, and remember we went and ate, and you went to bed. You were not feeling good. That was Friday.
I was like thinking, I feel like scratchy or something.
Yeah, and I thought I'm not going to get it, and I was pumping. Thankfully, it hasn't gotten any worse. I definitely feel better. I don't.
But the seasons bring that,
Yeah.
And the spring comes and you get the allergies.
Oh, yes.
All that. But, there's such a correlation to the natural seasons.
There is.
To the stuff that happens in our lives that are seasonal.
Yeah, there is.
And so it's very interesting to do the analogies. And if you've never thought about it, sit back and kind of look at it and then figure out how you are reacting in those seasons.
Yeah, it's true.
And begin to reflect. What is the learning piece? It's so easy to deflect and blame our circumstances for, because there's some things that happen that are just outside of your control.
Exactly.
Maybe you didn't realize all of a sudden you got laid off on your job and you didn't even know it was coming. You didn't ask to get laid off. But you begin to reflect and say, maybe God's pushing me into something else. Maybe the dreams that had been laid dormant inside of me, maybe now's the opportunity to do that.
Yes, yeah. Because sometimes when you are laying low, you're forced kind of almost in isolation in a way. That's the time to prepare. That's the time to work hard. That's the time to perfect your gifting, your passion, your dream, whatever you're trying to do. But
there's a thing that the story that just literally recently happened, babe, with even in my business and my team, as we were kind of talking through, and something happened. And when in that afternoon, I'm not going to give too much of the details, but after that, whatever, I'm like thinking, look at God.
Yeah.
This was a God wing. And our team, the entire team notes said, team, this is what I'm trying to tell you. God is preparing something so large that we don't even begin to understand it. And we're learning and growing through this process.
And it's
so
painful.
Instead of deflecting and blaming other people, we are reflecting to figure out, what can we do to get better? How can we make this better? What can we do to get better? Because that's the constant piece of it. When you begin to look internally, you forget and don't get distracted by what's happening around you.
Yeah.
And then it's amazing what starts happening.
Change the we to I, make it personal. What can I do to make it better? What can I do to learn through this? And I've had to do that so many times because I have deflected. I have said, well, it's not my fault.
Well, it's easy to do. We've all done that. Like thinking,
I didn't do this. Why am I in this mess? And sometimes God's like, I'm trying to teach you. Maybe it's pride. Maybe it's you need to mature a little bit. You want to do this big thing over here? You're not ready.
No. And I remember this was some advice that was given to me by a close friend a few weeks ago. And they said, Aspa, you've got to stop focusing on the outcome and focusing on the behavior.
The behavior. Yeah.
And so that was another thing. They were giving me my own advice. Because that's what I was, that was basically, they were saying you are deflecting, which was the outcome.
Yeah.
And you should be reflecting on the behavior and why you did not see the behaviors.
Yeah.
Why did you overlook the behaviors?
So you need to grow in that area.
You need to grow in that area. And you know what? I didn't want to admit it. I'm going through that. Like, I didn't want to give it because I talk about reflection versus deflection. And it was a great piece of advice that they threw back at me again, saying,
I think that's something we all can learn.
Yeah, we all do. Like, it's just
because we do
easy
deflect.
to do.
We do deflect, and we don't want to take responsibility a lot. Because sometimes, like I said, we didn't put us in that.
No.
I didn't do it, but I'm in it. So
Yeah.
why is it my fault? Well, why did you not see the behavior? Why were you not sensitive enough to know something's off?
Yeah. You should have, and maybe you did, but you just overlooked it.
Well, I think,
or you did, but why? Those are the type of things that you should start thinking about. Like, this is what I'm preparing you for. There's something big. There's big things going on. But, you pray for, a lot of people, we pray for the prayer of Jabez, expand my territory, enlarge my territory.
Yeah.
But when he can't enlarge it, if you can't even manage the territory that he's given you.
Like your finances.
Yeah. And so it's like that same thing. I can open the door.
Yeah. Push it open.
And if I open it, then I got to keep it open.
Exactly.
Or I can let God open the door.
And
when God opens the door, that means he's not going to open the door unless you're ready to walk through the door. Which means there's building. There's things that I've got to grow on. There's things that I'm going to still continue to work through.
And you might have to go through a few windows before you get to that door.
You have to lean into it. And it's hard sometimes.
You do.
And the older I get, it gets harder and harder.
And we don't want to repeat.
Yeah.
So it's like, God, okay, I'm in this season for a reason. Show me, teach me, guide my footsteps. Really, that's the prayer we should be saying.
I know.
Guide my footsteps.
Amazing. Seasons, they come, folks. If you're in a season right now, maybe you're in your season of spring, and it's a wonderful season to be in.
We love that.
And maybe you're in the season of summer. It's hot sometimes, but some of you love the summer. It's beach time. They love it.
The hot
and the winter. Maybe you like the winter season, but I can guarantee you there are seasons that you don't care for as much, and you're going to go through those seasons. And those seasons that you don't really care are parts of the seasons you may not like. You might like the beginning of the season, then you're tired of it, and you're ready for the next season. Mm-hmm. So when you're in those modes, think about that's how life is.
Life.
And so when you get to there, you start reflecting, how do I manage through that? I know this season is going to end, because it will.
And why?
They always end.
And go back to that analogy, being in bumper-to-bumper traffic. You're in bumper-to-bumper traffic for a reason in your personal life. God's allowing it. So what can I learn?
Sometimes there's not a shortcut. I remember as one of our friends, they're like, well, we took a shortcut and then they got stuck. And then they couldn't get out of it. And then somebody had to come in.
They didn't even show up, I don't think.
They couldn't even make it, whatever, because they thought taking a shortcut was going to get them there. But that shortcut was actually an impediment and a detour for them. So remember, think about it before you take a shortcut. Sometimes there's something in the process of the way.
Just stay in the lane that God has you in and let him groom you, prune you, and stretch you.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of A Cup of Real.